Charles, what's funny is, you know, we do the show each and every day, but there's some days when one of our good buddies isn't on the show. I'm talking John Bustecker, and the guy like calls me, he's tweeting me, hey, let's do another show, hey, let's do something. I didn't get enough TV time today. Yeah, so it's great to have you here instead of him, because it's nice to have a day of him not being on the show, right?
You can't escape me, John.
No, say it isn't so.
If you thought that I was here to give John Bustecker a day off, you're wrong. Because he is here again with us today, and this is about a story he's been working on with this Oddities store on Orange Blossom Trail. It's very interesting. Just tell me a little bit about it before we came on. The store that just opened in December. Tell us about it.
September.
September.
So the store opened in September. It's called Carmine Boutique. It's on Orange Blossom Trail between Princeton and Silver Star. And so they sell oddities. If you've ever seen that show on the Discovery Channel called Oddities, it's kind of like that. They just sell a bunch of weird stuff like human skulls and animals in jars and goats dressed as dolls and just a bunch of weird things.
The goat doll really takes the cake, I gotta say. I was really unaware that these stores were so prominent until I saw the Discovery Channel show. They had one in New York, and then they had a San Francisco version. Is this something that you think is in a lot of bigger cities?
Yeah, especially older cities. I was talking to the gentleman who owns this. His name's James Bissett. He runs a IT company in town, and this was sort of a passion that he had. He was in the military. He would travel around, and he would buy sort of strange and odd things, and so he ended up opening this store. But he went all over the country to find objects to put in his store, and he said he drove up the East Coast mostly, and especially in New York and Chicago and Seattle. I guess there's a really famous one in Seattle called Ye Old Curiosity Shop. And yeah, they're all over. And I actually talked to the vice president of artifacts at Ripley's, believe it or not. His name's Edward Meyer. And he said these curiosity shops go back to Charles Dickens' times. And so to get sort of odd things, it's not a new thing. It's just sort of a new thing to Orlando.
One thing I noticed on the Oddities television shows was that it was, and maybe it was just shot this way for television, but it was almost like a pawn shop. It was a buy and sell type of store. Is it similar with his?
Yeah, and so the owner, James, he told me that, you know, as long as he can kind of find out where the thing came from, because he deals in some weird things, obviously. He had a human toe in a glass jar, and like I said, he sells human skulls, and so
what's the line? I'm sorry to cut you off from that question, but what's the cutoff of legality with some of these?
He said as long as he knows the backstory and it's ethically sourced, he'll buy it if it's something that he wants. And so a lot of the things are old. A lot of the things are more than 100 years old, and so a lot of the skulls were medical antiques for people that had to learn these things. So if you were back in the early 20th century and they wanted to do operations on your brain, they needed a skull to sort of see where things were. And so it's not a brand new thing, but yeah, he does try to make sure where this stuff comes from.
What would you say? Outside of the goat doll, because I think that really is the home run. But other than the goat doll, what was the most interesting thing?
So be careful, Charles, be careful. I saw what he tweeted yesterday, and be careful what you ask him right now. That was weird.
One of the strangest things that out in front of his shop are these little tiny bones, and when I walked in for the first time, I picked them up, I was touching them and everything, and so I asked him, I said, well, what are these? And he said, it's raccoon baculum, and I was, I'm not into biology or anything, so I said, well, what the heck is raccoon baculum? And he said, well, that's the raccoon penis bone. And I said,
dude, you went there.
Who knew? And so I had to Wikipedia
I was trying to save you from having to tell this story on the air, and you went there.
It's not every day I get to say the words raccoon penis bone online. So
and a basket of them.
Yeah, and there's a basket of them. And so if you really want one, they're only $5. They're only $5.
Dude, Charles, do you see why I like days when he's not here? And you brought him back in for this?
Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever in the market for one, they have a lot of them there.
I'm sure there's a line forming right now. Yeah.
Well, Charles,
they were telling me that sometimes people will have cocktail parties and use them as the stirrers for their drinks.
They don't do that.
I swear to God.
Who?
Yeah.
Well, good news, bad news for you, Charles.
That was kind of a strange thing.
The bad news is he found that. The good news is you're getting it for Christmas this year. So
yeah.
Merry Christmas.
John is a giving soul.
Just to see how you wrap that.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
So it's a really cool shop. Like I said, it's on OBT. He just opened this up. I mean, just go in there and check it out. And there's things for $3,200. There's a stuffed bear that they had, or you can buy a raccoon penis bone for $5.
Wow. 5 times you've now said it.
What a great deal.
Wow. Okay, so that's how we're ending the show today. All right, I guess we'll all walk off the stage after that performance by Mr. Busdecker. Charles, sorry you had to be a part of this today, but always good to see you. John, I guess we'll see you later, man. Kayla.
See you tomorrow.
Great day.
Thanks.
See you guys.
See ya.